Before we get into the Song of Solomon, I'm going to share with you something that I saw this week that I had been working through this energy and had something set on the shelf for a while about the mashakak. It's an interesting word in the New Testament, mashakak, and it's likened unto the word yakol. I know you guys have heard me mention yakol before, because yakol is to be able, and we've connected it to the meaning of what magic means to be able. So yakol is connected with, if you want to connect it to the tarot, the magician's card in the tarot, to be able. It's a very powerful word, but in the New Testament it looks completely different than that. This is a very powerful word. And you find it, like I said, in the New Testament writings, to be able. And I need to break this down because it's something that I know is for those of us who are really diving into the language and what the language is doing. So for you to see it, it's memshin, kaf het. Why I bring this to you. If we remove the kaf out of it, we have the word mashak. Mashak is the root for Mashiach, and it means like to rub with oil, smear with oil, to anoint. That is the root, and then the yod is given in the middle. So this is what I find is interesting. To be able, it has a kaf instead of the yod. That's the only difference. If you look at the progressions of the letters, you guys know this. It goes from yod to kaf, then to lamed. There's our yakol. Yod, kaf, lamed. Yakol, to be able. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw one more puzzle piece out there that I just was like, whoa. Because I've been trying to figure out how to put something in that I've been sitting there. So it's just like hanging out there, and I have not known what to do with it. And the Ruka said, why haven't you seen this? And it showed me a very specific word. Hozak. Hozak. I want you to see something here. Here's the het, here's the sheen, and here's the kaf. Here's the risen form and the fallen form. So the final form, the Sophite form, and then the normal one. But it's the same letter. This is the word for darkness. This is that element that darkness is not what we think it is. It's not what we were instructed. It has to do with hiding something. It's like this hidden aspect. It's a permutation that is found in the word mashakak, to be able, which embodies the Mashiach. So why am I saying this? In order for us to have the anointing of the Mashiach, we also have to be able to traverse through the darkness. It is impossible to be anointed without having gone through the darkness. In other words, in order to get out of Westworld, you have to have the two poles that you unify together. And this word right here that has mashak, has anointing and oil, to rub with oil, contains the word darkness. So when somebody is only looking towards the light and not unifying both of them together as really being the same thing, there is no way to be anointed with the oil. Because this kaf, this is so profound. The kaf means to be open. It's a letter that literally means open, bend, allow, tame. It's a hand that grasps. It's a letter that means power. The problem is if you go into the darkness only, or if you go into the light only, because both of them are the right and the left hand. One is the masculine energy and one is the feminine energy. And the chozek is the feminine energy. So here we are instructed all along, stay away from the darkness, 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 darkness. But that is just the hidden aspects that are waiting for the light to reveal that which is hidden. Oh my God. That is a big deal. And it's the way I see. You guys may not see it. It's my mirror. I'm just presenting my mirror to you in something, because I've set with this word for a very long time, trying to figure out, how does this fit? How does this fit? I mean, I know I went through my dark night of the soul. I know I had to traverse those hidden areas that I didn't want to see of myself in order for me to heal. But now that I can see it from the side of it, because the feminine energy is that emotional, and you're going to see where I'm tracking with all of this in the Song of Solomon, because that is where all the emotional side of us, especially with our traumas, the things that we carry, the burdens that have to be transmuted, so that we don't have any attachments to things that happen to us in Westworld. I'm saying that very specific too, with the land of the West versus the land of the East. Because the land of the West is where the sun sets and begins going into darkness. The land of the East is where the sun rises and begins to be illuminating, which is Kadmon or Kadam, which is then coming in. So we're literally seeing both sides of the pole from the sunrise and the sunset, but you have to traverse through the Chozech in order to get to the Meshachach, to be able to be anointed. Does that make sense? Are you guys following that? So again, we're looking at the Mem and the Sheen to draw ourselves out, Moshe, the water and the fire. And there's a term, Koach.
Koach is ability, or the brotherhood of power.
Oh, so it's another word. It's another word that means ability. Of course it does. Of course it does. In other words, if someone is not willing to face the darkness that they have on the inside, and if they aren't willing to draw themselves out of the darkness, and the only way you can draw yourself out of the darkness so that you can rise again from the east is you have to go into it. All of a sudden, it was like the word Mashiach or Mashika. So Mashiach being the Hebrew form, the Mashika ends with an Aleph. It's that feminine energy that now has been unified, because we have distanced ourselves from the feminine energy. This is what Wednesday's teaching that I shared was all about with the Queen of Heaven, Ashura. Yasher, Koach, Yasher, Asher. It's all connected, and I get it. It's like, in order to rise into that place where we're shining in our glory, we have to do this. So this is what was given to me this week, and I was like, oh my gosh, now I totally understand. If somebody wants to keep talking and saying Christ this, Christ that, is Christ in you? The difficulty is, I can ask somebody a question, what is Christ? Can you please tell me what Christ is? Because we can say it as something that we learned in theology, which theology is creating words that express religious ideas. But if we have no idea what we're talking about, we're just using words so we can belong to a club. I mean, really, a club and a clique, something that we all talk about the Christ, but we have no idea what it really means. So this is drawing out the ability of the Mashiach. Oh my God, that's so good.
Yeah, and able is the vibration of magic.
So just something that I felt like I needed to bring to this group, because you guys are working with the languages. We understand how important it is that we're unifying both the water and fire, the masculine and the feminine, and what we're doing with drawing ourselves out. We draw ourselves out of the darkness, the things that we haven't transmuted yet. Once we draw ourselves out of it, that means we don't have any attachments to Westworld. We don't have any attachments to the things that are hidden within us, because we've swept the temple out. We've made it clean. We've made it clear. We've made it bright, so that the glory, the Shekinah, can fill the temple.
Can I say one thing about this too? That it's directly connected to, because it is might and ability and power, is directly connected to the word in its job description of capacity. So again, the Mashiach,
So the capacity to hold the oil.
right? This is a container that's looking for the resemblance of something that would have expansiveness to carry capacity as a compositor.
Right.
And so these are stretched vessels that are no longer diminished or limited. They know value of might of.
Yeah, and it makes sense, because if this is a vessel that is containing or has capacity, mashak is oil.
Right. So you have much
oil in your lamp.
Right.
This is giving you the ability to be filled with oil.
Right. Yes.
Ability to hold the water and the fire, which is the anointing power.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
this is so incredible.
Yeah, it's just a level of greater capacity, and this is what we're always been doing, is like expanding, expanding, expanding to contain a greater dimension.
So I shared that with you guys because for me, it's always about how can I bring something to you in the doing. It's one thing to know the words. It's one thing to know the vibrations. How do I apply it to me? What do I do with this word? Well, it's great that I know it, but the fact that we can drill down and it's letting us know you have to draw out the ability. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting because it doesn't mean, so, okay, why am I saying this? Because when I was in the church, there was Jesus Christ. And I was a dirty, rotten sinner that needed to be saved. And there was Jesus and God, and then there was me. And I wasn't even Israel, so I wasn't even a chosen person. I was going to get to witness the wedding, but I was never going to partake in it. I was just going to be a witness. How do you think that made me feel for years and years and years? How did it make you feel for years and years and years? Oh, we're going to watch this beautiful blessing as the bride of Jesus comes down and we get to witness it. But who are we? The dogs out of covenant ones? Oh, great. Why am I here? What am I doing? This is letting us know that we all have this ability within us. We just have to draw it out. That's what I'm trying to share with you. And this is what our work is. So with the letters are letting us know how to do it. Because it's the letters that give us the ability, the aleph through the tav, to complete something so that the union can take place. A tav, aleph, tav, tav, aleph. I don't know about you, but that gets me excited because I'm a person that is a doer. Tell me something, give me something that I can do something with. Don't just puff up my head. If I can't act upon it, I don't want to know it.